We're good. And hey, everyone, welcome to the Father, Son, and Title Show podcast, episode 1 on Zoom calls, man. We got a great guest with us today. I'm happy to have Anthony Guillen. Is that the right pronunciation, man?
Hey, got it the first time, man. I like
right.
it.
All right,
good.
Man. With the Nale Group, Compass Real Estate. Anthony's out in LA. I don't know exactly what part of LA. We'll find out, man, as we go. But hey, we welcome everyone to the show and checking this out. And we're starting to expand and we're going straight to California, man. Anthony, you're our first guest. So Anthony, again, welcome to the show, brother.
Well, thank you guys, Mark, Chris, for having me. Again, it's nice to kind of collaborate in different realms and different places, because we're all, going through similar situations, just in different states. And that's where the fun part about things is. To kind of give a little more context as to who I am, I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, particularly in the San Fernando Valley. I live in Sherman Oaks. So it's to give you an idea of where things are, because people kind of wrap their heads. It's like 20 minutes from like downtown Los Angeles, or like 15 minutes from the Hollywood side. So that's
there you go.
That's where I'm kind of stationed at. Born and raised out here, love it out here. I do frequent travel sometimes to San Francisco, to Houston. I have family kind of a little bit of everywhere, and overall traveling. And what else? I'm a father of an 11-year-old, so it's pretty cool. Started young, man. I had him when I was 18, 19, and it really like molded the development of my life kind of moving forward. You kind of have to put things on the back burner as to where your things are and focus on, your kids and your development towards that. So yeah, his name is Noah. He just started in middle school. And it's crazy because the transition is, when I was in school, at least middle school, I didn't have no cell phone. Things weren't as tech savvy as they are now. And, the other day I caught him. He's like in his room texting. I got 3 a.m. I'm like, what are you doing? Give me your phone, man. And it's funny. And he's just like, Dad, I'm FaceTiming with these girls. And I'm like, I wish I had that. When I would dominate to the middle school world if I had that technology. But I'm like, go son, I'm rooting for him. And so things have been kind of shifted here. So I really enjoy here. And pretty much on my free time, I like to do a lot of different things, from, traveling to hiking to being really involved in my community. I'm proud to say I'm part of the San Fernando Oddfellows. Think of it as a fraternity that date back to the 18th century. You probably heard of like the Freemasons, the Elk Lodges, things like that. So very similar. And I've been very involved in my community in that respect. And I'm very proud of it. So, we do a lot of good things to give back. We're doing this actually for Thanksgiving. We're going to give about 50 families underprivileged, we're going to feed them, and nice. For Halloween, we throw like cool parties for the adults. And so it's fun to kind of be in that dynamic, man.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. Well, as I think I mentioned to you, we're California natives too, man. We're from the big city of Bakersfield, down the way from San Fernando. Nothing like LA. Whenever we tell people that Christian and I are from California, oh yeah, and I'm like, no, wait a minute. I'm not from LA. I'm not from San Francisco. We're from Bakersfield, and some people know it, some people don't, man. But we've been here in Texas now for 11 years, but California is beautiful, brother. I mean, it's beautiful. It's expensive, but it's beautiful.
I hear you.
So yeah, man, that's awesome. And so what you said you had kids. Are you married? Or you had a kid young, or what's
I live with my girlfriend now, Christy, so we've been living together for the past almost 2 years. So don't have any more kids. Noah, him and his mom, we have a great relationship. She's a great mother. And, very fortunate to have that. We took a little bit of road bumps, for sure. But once we straighten things out, things have been awesome, man. And I'm very grateful to have, a mother like her and, to be able to collaborate together and co-parent very well. So I have Noah on the weekends, is a weekend dad because he has school. He lives in Palmdale, so that's around 45 minutes from where I'm at. And for school wise, he's there around 5 days a week, and then I get him on the weekends and for his vacation time. So
he's out in the desert, man.
Yeah, he's out there in the boons, man. Oh my God. He's a boon baby.
I used to work for Fidelity Title years ago, and that was my area. Not Palmdale. I'd go there every once in a while, but I would do Ridgecrest and California City. I mean, smack dab in the desert, man, with nothing. At least Palmdale's a little bigger, has a little more to offer, But that's desert territory, man, right there. Yeah. So awesome. Definitely. I see your post, man, with your son, and I try to like those things as much as I can. I started young. I had Christian when I was 19 as well.
Dang,
And
what's
we got married young, man, and had him. And I got 5 other ones plus him, so
wow,
but my
that's
kids are pretty
awesome.
much all grown at this point, man. So what's the fun things you do, brother, in California, man, that we don't get to do here in Texas?
We'll go to the beach, we'll go to a nice
Oh
beach.
Everything.
man, don't
He
rub
does
it in.
everything that we don't do.
No, but
We want to live through you right now, man. Tell us.
vicariously, oh man, there's where to start in that case. No, but surprisingly, it's kind of those things that, like, I'm in California, I have the luxury of having things close by, but at the same time, I don't do it as much as I wish I did. It's when time does allow, and that's what I do love about and paying the premium for living in Los Angeles, is that things are very localized. I know winter's coming up, so we like to go snowboarding. So we're probably gonna go snowboarding, which is around an hour and a half away. But besides that, just it depends on the season. It really is gonna see if it's summer, then we can go we're more at the beach as a family. If it's winter, of course, we're trying to do snowboarding, or sometimes, like today's a gloomy day, I just want to kick back, relax, have this dope podcast and answer emails. So,
There you go, man.
it all varies, but there's usually something going on, and we do like to be active as a family, and just go out and explore what's out there and meet people, collaborate, network, and really that's what we're about.
Nice, man. What's the beach of choice for you?
Oh, that's a good one. I would have to say Newport for me. It's a little further from where I'm at. It's about an hour or so from where I'm at, but I think it's not as touristy. When you come to Los Angeles, as much as I love the Santa Monicas, the Venices, the things that tourists really want to go to, it's okay, it's cool, but when you live here, you're like, I'm not really fond of it. But the beautiful beaches, there's a lot down the coast. You just really have to find your niche for sure.
Yeah. Newport, that's where the great Kobe Bryant lived, right? In Newport Beach, is that right?
I think he maybe had a house up there. I think it was Calabasas too, and Malibu or something like that. It could have been.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure he did, man. That's the Kobe was a legend.
I know, man. I know. Yeah. So right now, man, I'm assuming you're the Dodgers fan, right?
Oh, I have to be, bro. Of course. Giants fan, presumably, right?
No, I just wear different hats, man. I'm actually a Yankee fan, man.
No shit. Okay, man. How do you think they're gonna do this year?
I think they're gonna go. I told my son the other day, I told Christian, I said, I think they're taking it this year, man. So, but I'm also a Dallas Cowboy fan. And so with the Yankees and the Cowboys, I mean, obviously Yankees had a lot more success, but it's kind of like they always, seem to get there and make these big things, and then at the end it just seems to kind of crumble,
down,
man.
I hear you, man. I hear you. I have a lot of my family who are Raider fans, so they feel the same way, and they're always like, "Oh man, the things are go good," and then just falters.
How funny, man. That is awesome. No, we miss California, man, for sure. The beaches, the mountains, all the things that it has to offer. But we do love. I went back a few years ago, and hung out. Actually, Christian was living there for a bit. He was pastoring out there, and then we went out there for a little bit, about a week, and visited. But I went to the beach. But we would do Central Coast, so we would do like Pismo, Morro Bay. I don't know if you ever get out that way to the Central Coast, but that's where our beach was from Bakersfield, mainly. Absolutely. Or Ventura. We'd shoot up.
I love the dunes in Pismo. I used to go as a kid all the time for the dunes.
Okay.
The sickest, man. To get a quad or a dune buggy and just go through it. The funnest.
There you go, man. There you go. So no, man, we love it. We love it. So yeah, I definitely wanted to ask you those questions, man, on the California status, man. So you're living the dream out there, man. You're living the dream. Hey, man, we're gonna jump into a couple questions for you.
Sure.
Christian's gonna ask the first question, man.
All righty, Christian, lay it on me.
All right, man. Well, you seem super chill, so I don't know what answer we're going to get. Maybe you get mad sometimes, but when you get really upset, what is your go-to word or phrase or reaction?
As chill as I seem, I still go for the F-bomb. I'm going to have to say fuck you, and just, can I curse?
You can curse.
Okay. Yeah. It's going to be fucking, it's versatility, and can be expressed in all forms of emotion, whether it's like, fuck you, or it's like, fuck, I love you. You know what I mean? And so you have this range of where it could really become. And I feel that it even helps. And there's even like the science behind how profanity helps, for pain tolerance, and it helps, coping mechanisms and so forth. So, I love that word just because, even the song, I see you trying to drive down with the girl I love, and I'm like, fuck you. So it's you have that like cool, like dynamic through the word. And I feel if there's an anger point of it, that's usually the F-bomb that just kind of gets released. And then you feel pretty good about it after.
Man, I tell you, a lot of people say the F word, right, in their answer, but you're the first one that turned it into art. So kudos to you for doing that one.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing, man. You had a whole definition and reason.
I like it. You're ready. Articulate.
You're,
yeah, you have to.
California.
It's really that, like, and even the word, like we have different words for it. Like I tend to say words in Spanish too, like puta madre, or like when my Hispanic side really like resonates, and I'm like puta voz, like how could that happen, but it could be reflected in a good way too, like, so it really just depends on the tonality, the situation, and where you're coming at it from the context of things. If you're a sailor mouth, or do you never cuss, where's your head out in that regard.
I love it, man. I love it. I could literally, when you said it, I'm imagining you on the 405 or something, and you're just driving, and you're just yelling at everybody, man.
That sounds about right, especially on the 405. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's any freeway, it's gonna be that one where that bomb's are released.
All right, man. Next question is what advice would you give? And when you think of the context of it, in the context of like you're talking to your son, as he grows older, and maybe conversations now, but as think about it, you're giving this advice to somebody on what not to do in life. As like for me, I always use the example of don't get married at 19, don't have a kid at 19. It's not necessarily the best thing, you're not ready for it. So what advice would you give to someone not to do in life, because you've done it, you've tried it, and there's no winning at it for anybody?
There's a few things. The first that comes to mind is always, never lie to yourself, never, have moments where something isn't for sure, but you still do it anyways. Or you have this extreme self-doubt. I think that's going to be the number one for me. It's just don't lie to yourself. You really have to be upfront and honest about who you are as a person, what achievements you can do. Well, excuse me.
No.
And what that really means. Another would be just negative self-talk. Really have that inner voice in you be really loud and present. We have our inner voice tend to be our parents, that person who really took care of us growing up. That's that inner voice that says you can do it, or that says you can't do it. And you need to be able to really tone that voice down. And then, or if it's a good voice, exacerbate it, make it really prevalent in your everyday activities or whatever goals you may have. Allow somebody to define what success means, they say, what it was, Teddy Roosevelt said, comparison is the thief of joy. So you really have to be able to not compare what people are doing. And we have a tendency to compare up and not compare down, and when we compare, let's say we have our health, we have our life, we have, a smile on our face, and we have a lot of things that a lot of people around the world don't, and I think that's something that really resonates in my head. Be open-minded, have the ability to want to grow, and have that mentality where collaboration, networking, and collaborate without ego is going to be something that I really want. If I'm thinking of this like I'm talking to my son, like this is where palabra kid, this is what you need to do. So these are the 5 things Anthony says to get forward in life. And the number one, and another number one I want to say is, have an understanding of your finances. How does things work in the money world, and don't be oblivious to what's going on. Thinking things are going to be okay when it comes to money. I own a credit repair business, and a huge thing is understanding how money works. How does it work? How do you allocate money better? Where's savings? How much do you have in your savings? How much do you have coming in? Where do you have coming in? What budgeting? And so these things are things that I would say are not to do, is not to have a budget, not to have fiscal goals, not to have an idea of where the next paycheck's going to come to be able to, have some sort of success.
Nice, man. Nice. Good advice. I love your style, man. I love your style, and I love your answers, man, what you're giving us. So truly appreciate it, man. Good advice and good cuss word, man. Good go-to word on both, man. So all right, man. Again, keeping with time, Anthony, we got 10 more minutes. Sure. Here's the time of the show where it's time for you to tell us who you are in real estate, what you do, man. So give us that breakdown. You're an agent, you got a credit repair company, as we just heard. Promote that stuff and tell us what you're doing out there in California, man.
All right, guys, buy from me in Canada. So this is so I am part of the Nolly group at Compass. Compass is the bigger block. Think of Keller Williams, think of Remax, think of these elements. I'm sure they're located in the Dallas area as well. I'm a recently new agent. So as of around 8 months, I've had my license. I started, however, with Compass about a year ago. And I've been fortunate to train in a team that allows me to grow and that really helps me and hone down on the skills that are necessary to be an effective agent. A lot of people have this mentality coming in like, I'm going to make a lot of money. This is where, things are going to become. I'm going to go in real estate and sell 25 houses a year and I'm going to, be rich and stuff. But, there is a lot of hard work that goes into it. And especially becoming a new agent, and especially in this turmoil that we're hearing everything, the interest rates are going crazy. Things aren't going, as to plan, because around 2 years ago, you had a phone and you're an agent and you made money. And that was, all my boys were like, yo, I made this, I killed it. And now, a lot of them don't have the business, and exactly. That's because the steps of how they became, what foundation they have, is it really shaky as opposed to a strong foundation that leads to success. And I've been fortunate to be in a great team that allows me to understand that this is a long game. This is chess, not checkers. And you really have to implement yourself very well to be able to be successful in this. So I've been there with them, and as a new agent, it is tough. I've been fortunate to have deals under my name because I've stuck to these elements, and really doubled down on my relationship building. And it's how you curate and develop relationships that people are going to have trust in order to make the biggest purchase of their life, essentially. For a lot of people, this is going to be the biggest purchase. And having this idea of chasing around, for the next buff, people could smell the commission breath if you're just wanting to make a next sale, as opposed to really, doubling down on how they feel, what are their, what's their expectations, how can you be of service to them, and understand that some people aren't right fit for everybody. You probably know already that millennials, like our age, mine and Christians, I'm sure that, it's tough to buy. It's extremely hard. You really have to have a lot of capital to be able to purchase things, and most people on their normal salary can't do it. So, I felt like most of my friends, most of them are myself, it's hard to be in this dynamic of like, practice what you preach. Sure. And, but it's fun, and, just trying to build and curate things and to have that ability to be able to help people buy their first time homes, and, now working with investors to find them investment properties. And it's always, it's still a learning curve. There's still a lot to doing it. And a lot of it has to correlate with my business in credit repair. So with credit repair, I've been doing that for a few years now. And understanding some finances, understanding where their credit score impacts how they purchase the home, it makes the biggest difference. And, guiding through the process of fixing their credit to getting a home, and having all that in between. When the winds come, man, they feel, even better. And, and it's important to have that decent credit, or that, just an idea of what's going on in your credit to be able to make these big homes. Because the interest rate from having a 580 to having a 760 is immense right now.
Yeah, especially out there, man. I've never understood how anybody owns a home out in the Los Angeles area, man. I mean, it's like crazy, but it is what it is, man. I could not have known that you were only in real estate or had your license for 8 months, man, by the way you carry yourself. So kudos to you on that. Very professional, man. So
thank you.
Yeah, give you props on that, man. So what piqued you to get into real estate? What made you get into real estate or want to become an agent and get into that realm?
It was understood. So credit repair was my thing. So I also at the time was working with somebody who owned an automotive brokerage. So we had a bottleneck that we're always encountering was the credit, because we were giving them subprime loans, and we were like, wow, we're really not helping these clients out. We're giving them a 20% interest rate, putting, let's say, a 30% down on the car, and they're going to be negative as soon as they walk out the lot.
Yeah.
So that stemmed the credit. Then we realized that a lot of them would come back to us and say, hey, can you help us with the house? Can you get us look for a house? And at the time we were like, no, let's refer it out. And so, then I was like, okay, maybe we should keep it in-house. I'll get the license, and then from there, try to grow on it. My partner at the time, we decided to split our ways. So I just decided to join Alex with the Denali Group at Compass. And then from there, it's just grown and flourished, and so still balancing both credit repair and real estate has been a challenge, but it's been a great blessing, and it's let me know that it's possible. You can do it, but you really got to focus on building relationships and really being a people's person. Like you can't be in real estate and not be a people's person, or not be somebody who isn't open-minded, and you have to have different variables of becoming a good real estate agent too. It's not only just talking about sales, talking about real estate, but talking about things people want to hear. People want to be relatable. People want to feel heard, understood. They don't want to just talk, you to try to sell them all the time, and that's not what we're about, at least.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Me and Christian talk about that all the time, and it's like, we're in sales, so you got to be a salesperson. So it's funny when we run into agents, then they don't want to talk, they don't want to come on a podcast, they don't want. I'm like, you're a salesperson, like this is your lane, and when we created the podcast, we really try to take a different angle. Like, let's have some fun with it. That's why we highlight personality. The picture doesn't give me, you can look good, man, you look sharp, you're dressed cool, but that doesn't give me who you are. I need to hear you and hear you talk to be able to relate to you and then connect with you. And then we start doing business, so I think you're definitely headed in the right direction, man, as far as what you're doing. You've got that all laid out for you, man. So real quick, we're running out of time. How do you use social media in your real estate business?
I felt that social media is important to gain affinity. It's important to people to see the stories. It's important for them to see and live essentially through you, because it's probably not going to be a sale right there. And, a lot of real estate agents think 30 days. They think, I need to get this next deal because I need to get paid in 30 days when escrow closes, or when, your attorney closes it. And, that's not usually the case. Social media has helped me gain more of authority within real estate and credit repair to be able to be that go-to. It's like, hey, Anthony, I have questions and references. I have questions for it. It's probably not going to be anything, but then you start developing more of the relationship. Then you start commenting on this stuff. Then you start, them commenting on your things. Then, the relationship comes, and inch by inch, it kind of levies the walls that they have put up in the beginning. Because, you're always going to be, let's be real. Half the people that are probably on there, maybe even more, are going to be hating you at first. And then eventually they see what comes out of it, and they're like, hey, I want to be your friend now. Hey, they see that, you come with good intentions. You don't come with that, trying to sell them, or you're trying to make it, seem like it all comes off. So, I feel social media has helped develop me in that platform as more authority, meeting great people like yourself, and having, that ability to connect in all different platforms and all different places around the world too.
Yeah. And that's exactly how we met, right? We just connected on social media. I actually think I friended you as I seen that you were a realtor, but I thought you were here in Texas.
I think that's the case.
I didn't realize you were out there, but who cares, man? I mean, you never know too what can happen, down the road. But here we are, befriended on social media, and now you're on our podcast, man. So it's awesome the way that it works, and again, who knows what the next step is for us even together down the road, man. You might come to Texas and sell some properties here,
I might.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Again, keeping with time, give us your info, man. Give us your social media handles, give us your company name, your phone number for both your real estate and your credit repair. And so credit repair, real quick, before you do that, could we refer people to you that are here and you still fix their credit?
That's right. So I can fix credit throughout the whole continent of the United States.
Nice.
So it's different in reference to real estate, but credit repair, I licensed for it to do it everywhere.
Okay, cool, man. So, give us all your contact info.
So first and foremost, my telephone number, which is the best way of communication, would be 661-600-6649. Shout out to Bakersfield.
Area code.
Area code, right?
Yeah.
My Instagram handle is Anthony Guillen 23. You know, that's primary. My primary form of social media is Instagram. And for both, it's going to be the same for credit repair and for real estate. So if any questions in reference to it, then I could start leading people onto the website and so forth, because, you know, it could go down a rabbit hole. For real estate, I do work, as mentioned, the Nolly Group at Compass. You know, check us out on Zillow. We have phenomenal reviews. And, you know, we really believe in putting our clients first, you know, even if it's above a sale. That's we just want people to be happy, and we want a genuinely good experience overall.
Awesome, man. Awesome. All right, man. We're running out of time. I want to keep your time on it as well. Anthony, man, I appreciate you for coming on, talking to us. We're going to promote you as much as we can. Shoot me your contact info, all that stuff for your other business as well. Just privately, you know, message us. And then, or if you have a flyer or something like that, we'll throw that up on our social media as well. And man, I'll talk to you after this, because we'll cut up little clips. I'll shoot those to you for promotion of yourself and for us as well. Absolutely. And man, who knows what the future holds? I'm looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, progressively how much you guys grow. And again, thank you guys so much for your time, your effort, and I look forward to doing some business with you, hopefully. That sounds good to me, man. All right, Anthony, have a good one, man. All right, guys. You too, man. Take care, Chris. All right. Have a good one. Thank you. All right, bye-bye. Done?